What's up, everybody, and welcome back. So today we're going to show you how to make one of these mantles. This is just 3 pieces, 2, 3 of 1x8s, and just cut and form to each other. Get some end pieces of the 1x8s, and that's it. So it's a very simple project that you can make your own custom look to whatever you want this mantle to look like. And in the high stakes economy of high lumber prices, when I did this didn't cost me more than 50 bucks for this pretty good sized mantle. So stick around, we'll do that. Also, big shout out to my friends over there at Johnson's Kingfisher. They gave me this shirt when I bought a new truck. They're not paying me, just gave me a good deal, good people. So if you're in Oklahoma City looking for a car, go get them. Let's go. All right, so check it out. Step 1 here, very simple. We're gonna measure our area. So I believe this is about 54 inches up off the ground, centered up there. And then my width, I'm gonna go a few inches inside of the wall. So probably about 6 inch, whatever the width of the wall is, I did about 6 inches less. So there was a couple inches shorter on each side. We'll check out our boards here. So our boards we're going to use are 1x8s. 1x8s, which will end up being a 7.25 inch mantle, which is pretty good and thick. Some people use 1x6s. It's up to you. So here are my 3 pieces. I have them set out where I want which to face where, which one's going to face out, top, bottom, whatever. And we're going to cut them at a 45-degree angle, the end of them. Now, we're going to cut the top and the bottom, one in at a 45-degree angle, the lengthways, as you can see here. And then the front piece, we're going to cut at a, both ends at a 45-degree angle. And then here next, we're going to cut all ends of the pieces at a 45-degree angle, like so. And this is how we just kind of get it all to sit together and make it look like it's one whole piece, instead of us having being able to tell where the edges of the wood is. So that's just me measuring right there to where the length of my mantle will be, and then I'm cutting that in at a 45-degree angle. Alright, so this is your final look here. So you can see this bottom piece, only one lengthwise is cut at a 45-degree angle, because that's going to be the top. And but every other one, this middle piece here, every single lengthwise and edge is cut at a 45-degree angle. And they're basically all going to sit flush with each other. So let's put this bad boy together here. Let's give this some shape. What do you say? So we have dropping some wood glue here on the ends, and then we're going to nail it together. All right, so we got that wood glue on there, and then we're going to set these babies up. So you need some clamps here, and I also have a 2x4 there cut to size for the internal diameter. The goal here is to make that to where it'll have it sit nice and flush. If you have an extra hand, somebody that can help you, then they can hold that in down there and make it a whole lot easier for you. So this is what I did on each end, so I could nail it in and make sure I nailed it in straight. Alright, so we got the edges all nailed in. So now I flipped it on its side, and we're going to put the end pieces in. This end piece is just a 7.25 by 7.25 square with the ends cut at 45-degree angles. And then now for this project, I decided that I was going to distress it a little bit. So I'm going to kind of scrape the ends here. You're going to have gaps where we nailed these in and matched them together. we'll put wood filler on that and it'll look good. So don't worry about that right now. I'm gonna scrape and roughen up and kind of curve out the ends here with a wood chisel. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm kind of getting that straight edge off of there and kind of give it a little bit of a curved, weathered edge. Highly recommend this part. You don't have to hit it with a chain. That's up to you if you want to give that weathered look, but I would use a chisel on it to scrape off the ends of every spot to kind of give it that rounded, more natural look. All right, so let's hit it up with some wood filler now that we got all that done. So, key word here, stainable. We're going to stain this project, so you want to make sure you have stainable wood filler. So, this is a lot of area to cover, so I just use my hand. I put a little bit on my finger and I rub it in. I did sand the edges before I did this. That way I don't give myself any splinters. So sand before, and then you just use your hand and hit them in there, hit any gaps to cover any gaps. Next, I just have a little moist paper towel that I kind of rub over. And what that does is that just kind of gets off any excess. Finally, we'll hit it with some sandpaper. So once it dries, we will hit it with some sandpaper, and that will smooth everything out and make it get all the grit off of it that wood filler will give to it. So once we get it all nice and sanded, I just kind of brush it off, wipe it off, however you want to do it. Get all that dust out of there. We have no place for that because we're about to stain this bad boy. So here's what we got right here. I got Espresso is what I'm using on it. And what I do is I take a foam brush. That way this foam brush can really get into those edges and corners where I put that wood filler in. Sometimes that wood filler doesn't want to take up very easily. So when I use this foam brush, I can really get it into every corner and then just take a rag and wipe the excess off. And you can see right before our eyes here how it's really transforming and really getting all that excess off and turning it into a beautiful all natural looking piece of wood. Thumbs up for that beauty, might I say. So finally, let's get this baby hung up. So what we want to do is we want to put a kind of ledger board on here that's going to hold this mantle up here. So I am measuring, like I said, about 54 inches up is where it's centered, and then I'm measuring and I'm going to drill a pilot hole through my faux brick. I know where my studs are. They're on each side of this fireplace insert. That's how that fireplace insert is in there. So on the outside of that, I know there's a stud. So that's what I'm drilling into here. Whenever you're drilling into tile or anything like that, use water to soak it down to kind of keep it cool. All right, so now we're just marking on this piece of 2x4 ledger board. You can kind of see where I made those marks. That's where the studs are going to go. Just want to make sure that this board is long enough to cover the studs. You don't want to cut it too short. So we get it up there, get it level. And I'm using some GBRKs, small head, that they hide very well, and that's what I'm using to attach this mantle. A lot easier if you have another person to help you here, but where there's a will, there's a way, friends. This thing's not that heavy. So this is me just going between each side, getting it perfectly centered on each side, and then we'll throw these GRKs, small heads, into the top. Boom shakalaka. She's in there. Sturdy like a glove. There you have it. Told you, easy, simple, beautiful, real wood mantle for you. way cheaper than what you're going to get prefabricated. Have fun with it, make it your own. Hope this was helpful. To check out some other videos, we got one for the hearth and one for the how to do the brick on the fireplace. Check them out and make your house a home.